Okay, so this morning we're going to talk about the Corrections Offline Education Platform. Got a slide and everything. And this grew out of the WiderNet project, began here at the University of Iowa 14 years ago. And we work with people from underserved populations who don't have access to information and education. And there's 5 billion people in this world who don't have access to the internet. 2/3 of us. And those of us who are in this special privileged situation of being connected and having all these resources available to us, it's hard for us to imagine what it's like being in a situation where it's not like people don't have the internet and can just go to the library, because there aren't any libraries either. And so we work on taking information that much of it is stuff that people have published on the internet and made freely available to people on the web, and we make copies. Yeah, we just make copies. And so far we've gotten about 2,700 authors and publishers to give us permission to replicate their website. And 32 million resources are in this little box right here. It's in about 900 locations around the world now, about 3 million people using it in Africa and India. And no internet required. Hook it up to a local area network and thousands of people can share it. So that is going and growing. But about, 7 years ago, I was a part of a drum troupe here in Iowa City called the Yahoo Drummers. And we just play percussion from all over the world. And for about 10 or 15 years, we went out to Oakdale and did a monthly drum circle out there. And it was about 7 years ago that these two parts of my life overlapped. And I realized, well, wait a minute, you guys don't have the internet either. And so that was our first installation, was at Oakdale, an e-granary on their network. The first bit of feedback we got from the prisoners was, well, they had two issues to raise with us. One was, what's all this crap about Africa? Good point. And the second was, hey, where's the porn? I thought this was the internet. I told them we couldn't find it. We were looking, but anyway. So, how many installations do we have now?
7 across the country.
Okay. And this is growing. We're learning some things. It's really I made a choice when I was young that I was going to serve the poor, and I realized later that was a really bad decision because they don't have any money. So I spent a lot of my time raising money to do this kind of work, but they also don't have, and there's a lot of research has gone into this. They don't have a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? They're kind of passive about accepting. And so even like when we work in Africa, we literally have to call people several weeks after they've gotten their e-granary and say, hey, did you get it? And is it working? And they'll say, why are you calling? Am I in trouble? No, it's perfectly fine, right? But they don't have that sense of empowerment. And one of the things we're finding working around in prisons is that there is a similar lack of empowerment. So now we're working with building a consortium of prison educators and prison librarians to build a collection that's specific to them. That's what we call the COPE, Corrections Offline Education Platform. The idea of working with volunteers and professionals around the world to come up with resources that specifically meet needs of people behind bars. And not just the inmates. One of the harsh lessons I learned early on was from the staff at prisons who would say, well, you like these people better than you like us. They literally said, somebody said that. And I realized that they too are stuck in a really harsh situation. Anytime that we are called to diminish somebody else's dignity, we diminish our own. And everybody in that situation, everybody I've met, work in corrections has a need to learn more about themselves, about the world, and have tools and resources available to them so they can deal with situations. And all of that really about opening minds, education, getting into people's hands. Did you want to talk about what we're doing in this microphone? You're the quiet one.
Sure, I'm the quiet one. So I joined Cliff at the WiderNet project a few years ago, almost years ago, and just kind of set out to figure out, and I always say there's a lot of crossover between the developing world and corrections, unfortunately. But through my involvement with this collection and promoting it to secure facilities, I was able to become involved with some federal government organizations and programs like the Correctional Education Association, like the Department of Education's OCTA, Adult Career Office of Adult, OCTA, O-C-T-A, Career Technology, they just changed it. Career Technology Adult Education, there we go. Used to be OVE. And so I have not a unique, but an interesting top-down view of a lot of what we're talking about here and a lot of what WiderNet and the COPE promotes. We're talking about integrating education into secure facilities, offering opportunities for individuals to learn, gain knowledge, not recidivate, go out, successfully re-enter their communities, be contributing citizens. And got the time limit already, cut off. So at any rate, I have been a subject matter expert with the Department of Education's LINKS platform, which is Literacy Information Communications Systems. Through the Department of Education, it's a community of practice for adult educators and community members. So I would encourage you, this is my plug, to go to links, lincs.ed.gov and participate in that discussion, because that's a way to get what we're doing here, talking about promoting evidence-based practices, out and to other people who are interested in what we're doing in Iowa, but don't have an opportunity to connect, to make it here on a Saturday in the fall, or to be involved in, or don't know how to become involved. So I would encourage you to look for those opportunities. There's a wonderful synergy going on in the country right now and an interest in correctional education and a cultural shift in how we're viewing the people that are re-entering our societies from our secure facilities. So WiderNet has been an extraordinary opportunity to get into those facilities and provide ground level basic access to education and web-based services that they would not otherwise have access to. And the final plug, in our society today, it's impossible to come out and get gainful employment without digital literacy skills. Flying through the airport, you can't, the guy that pushes the wheelchair or drives your car holds up a tablet, not a handwritten sign. You have to know how to work that technology, and this is an opportunity to provide that education too.
I could add one more short thing. Sorry. And that just another anecdote. We about 4 years ago we did a survey. We in an inmate magazine we published a survey and we asked inmates, what are you looking for? What kind of information do you need in your situation? And we got some fairly clear. We got 300 responses and some fairly clear results. Hold on to that. What do you think they were looking for? You have to answer. Just hold that in your head. Now. The other thing is we get to be spies because we have 2,000 websites on a hard drive being served up by a server, and every web server in the world keeps track of every page that gets requested. So we get to look at those logs and see what people are actually using. And whether it's a technical school in India, a secondary school in Tanzania, or a prison here in Iowa, one subject matter that stands out above all the rest in terms of people's curiosity.
I know.
That's not porn. Sorry. Health information. People are looking for physical, mental, family health information above everything else. Wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting they were looking for legal information, but apparently most of them know they're guilty, but everybody has health issues or family members with health issues and needs to know. Thank you.